So you have won the DV lottery. Now, is it time for you to start booking your tickets? Is it time for us to start packing? Well, no, it is time for us to start processing our documents. And in this video, I am going to share with you information about how we start our process. So if you are a DV lottery winner, this video is definitely for you. Now, this is part of a series which I created, which will take you through the whole process step by step. So today's episode mainly will just talk about confirmation of details. Hey loves, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Beautiful Chaos. Now, if it's your first time here, this channel is specifically for people who are looking into migrating to other countries through scholarships, through jobs, through any other migration opportunities such as the DV lottery. Now, if this is the content that you would like to see, please make sure you subscribe to the channel and like the videos before you even see it. Now let's get right into it. We all know already, or if you by mistake, I would say today, skipped the information when you were applying for the DV lottery. Today we are going to reiterate it for you. Okay, so the DV lottery actually requires you to have 2 years of experience. That is, if you actually applied under a worker status. But if you applied as a student, you actually require to have finished the high school. So before I actually get in depth with all these two terms, like the work experience, how do you know which job qualifies and how it is determined, or about the education, what else? Because we know the education system in America is not the same education system everywhere. So how to determine and all the likes. I would like to just tell you that if you applied under these two categories and you do not qualify, that is to say, if you do not have a high school certificate or you do not have 2 years of experience, then this is high time you discontinue with your DV lottery program, continuation or whatever, like putting your documents forward, because at the end of the day, all the monies that you are going to use are not going to be refunded. So rather, if you do not qualify, do not continue with the process. This is just the step. This is why this step is very important, confirmation of documents, because you want to know first before you go to the second stage, because you don't want to just waste money. At the end of the day, you are told you do not qualify. These are the main things. Let's look through them first and know, do I qualify, before you even jump onto the next stage, which is filling the DS-260 form for you to move to the next stage. Now let's get right into the details where we talk about the education. Now when we talk about a high school, secondary certificate or education, this means that this is a successful completion of the elementary and secondary education, which is a course of approximately like 12 years. This is a formal course, so this only applies to formal education. So if you have any other equivalent certificate that you think the equivalent to the USA high school, whatever, which high school certificate which is needed, please make sure that it's formal education, or else it's not equivalent at all and it will not be allowed. So make sure that this whole education thing is based on at least around 12 years of education that prepare you for the elementary and the secondary education. So in this time, the easiest thing for you to do is, because we don't have the same education system, right? So in America it's different, in India it's different, in Nepal it's different, in many countries it's different. So what would you want to do? What you want to do is check for the certificate or the education level that is equivalent to the high school certificate in America. Now after checking which one is the equivalence of the high school certificate from America or secondary certificate in America, then you would want to check if you already have the certificate. Now if you already have the certificate, then congratulations, you do qualify for the DV lottery. Consider moving on to the next stage if by the end of this video, all of these details check in for you. That means you do qualify. Then we are ready to skip to the episode 2, where we are going to talk about the DS260. But for the meantime, this is the information that you require if it's just for education. Now let's talk about work experience. Now, when we talk about work experience, this work experience is supposed to be at least 2 years of work experience. 2 years of work experience is not meaning that if you have 2 years of work experience 15 years ago, you do qualify. Unfortunately not, you do not qualify. So if you have 2 years of experience, this must be in the last 5 years. These 2 years must be in the last 5 years, and your job or your occupation should be according to the definition of the Department of Labor. Now, if you are wondering which jobs do actually qualify as the, DV occupation qualification, I will leave a link down in the description box. Go and check it out. I am going to also put information on how you can check it. Use that link and use the information in the description box so that you can check if your job is on the list, which means it qualifies you to be a DV lottery winner. So if you do not qualify by education and you see that your documents also you do not qualify as a worker, which is by 2 years of experience, and also by checking your occupation, if your occupation does rank to meeting 2 years of experience and the likes, then you would rather at this point not consider pursuing the DV lottery, because at the end of the day, after pursuing it and after everything has been done and after fees have been paid, by the rules of the DV lottery, you will not be accepted, and at the end of the day, nobody will refund your fees. So rather hold on to your money if you do not qualify. So make sure you check that description box to check your qualification, to check your occupation status and everything. And also let's move on to the second part, which I am very much interested in, your passport details. Let's talk about your passport. Your passport details are very important. Now, if you enter the DV lottery with an invalid or a wrong passport number, at this point, just consider not pursuing the DV lottery, okay? Because this is not allowed. So if you entered the wrong passport number, it's just gonna clash because it will be like a different person. But we do have one incident where there is a slight change of how things will be held. Now, this is an exception. If, for example, you applied the previous year, you have a different passport number, and then by the time you're told that you're a winner, which is this year, you have now a different passport number due to the fact that you have changed a passport. That is to say, if last year your passport expired and this year you have a new passport, that is a whole new different level. That's like an exception. That means that when you now fill in your DS260 form, you are supposed to write the new passport number, and you're also supposed to provide supporting documents that I'm still the same person. I'm still the same person. It's just that my passport expired last year, so this is my new passport number, but don't worry, this is me, the same person. It's just that the other one expired, the likes, like that. Now, before I forget, there is a question that arises, which is to say that all these all these requirements about education and about a work experience, who do they actually apply to? Like, for example, there are some people who apply as married people. Does it apply to me, my spouse, my children? No. This whole thing applies to the principal applicant, which is to say, if you are the man of the house and you are the one who applied, all this information applies to you as the principal applicant. The education and everything, it's you who should qualify. It doesn't matter if your spouse actually doesn't have the the education, whatever, or doesn't have the experience, work experience. It doesn't matter, but you as the principal applicant, this is a matter. So let's go back to the passports. I'm getting confused now. So when we get back to the passports, the major point is that your passport details should be valid. So if you have invalid passport details, unfortunately, this is the time we say please try, and it will be heartbreaking, but I suggest that you discontinue with the process, because at the end of the day, like I said, nobody is going to refund you the fees that you are going to pay when you start the whole process. Now we have come to the end of this video, my lovelies. So if you do not qualify by education, if you do not qualify by work experience, but you are a DV winner, and if also you have some issues with your passport details, passport numbers, please make sure that you just, discontinue and try and play again next year when all your details are like in the right way, because this is going to cost you a lot. After going through the DS260 and everything else, you will realize that you are not qualified and you will be rejected, and it would be quite painful because you will not get your money back. Now, this is the first episode where we have done our confirmation, because like I said, this is an important stage because we don't want to waste money. So if you have passed all these steps, if you have passed all these checks, if you have checked all those boxes, the work experience, the passport and everything, if you have checked, then you are ready for episode 2, which is the filling in of the DS260. Now, this is the end. This is from me to you. Until next time, beautiful chaos, I am out. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel.